President Trump's legal team facing a 5 p.m. deadline to respond to prosecutors' request for a protective order limiting the former president from publicly discussing evidence in the January 6th criminal case. The judge there already rejecting Trump's attorney's request to extend the deadline. Trump is now announcing on Truth Social that he will be requesting for the judge to be removed from the case and for the trial to be moved from Washington, D.C. He wants to be in West Virginia. West Virginia Attorney General Patrick joining Maria on Sunday Morning Futures yesterday to discuss if the trial could happen in his state.
Is there any precedent that you can tell us about where a case was moved because of worries that it wasn't going to be fair?
I would say that one of the fundamentals of due process in our criminal justice system is to be able to have a fair trial in a fair tribunal. And does anyone watching, does anyone in America believe that President Trump is going to get a fair shake out of Washington, D.C.? This should be moved to West Virginia. We have a number of federal district courthouses that could properly house this. I think that he could get a fair hearing, and I think that there's no reason why the prosecutor shouldn't support this move.
Joining me now is Alabama Congressman Jerry Carl. He is a member of the House Armed Services and Natural Resources Committees. Congressman, good morning to you. Thank you so much for being here. Your response to this potential change in venue request?
It has to be moved out of Washington, D.C. Nothing comes out of Washington that's fair, especially if you're a Republican. So we've got to find and encourage it to be moved out of D.C. altogether.
What about Trump calling for the recusal of the judge? Obviously, this is a very complicated case, and now charges are mounting against him in several cases here. He feels like he's getting a bit of a raw deal across the board.
Well, he's going to. I mean, the cards are stacked. It's a very liberal system. He may win or he may lose, but I'll assure you, when we get it to the federal Supreme Court and they look at it from a First Amendment issue, rights that the president has as any elected official, as any U.S. citizen, we have a First Amendment right, and we have to find cases like this not being credible. So I think when he gets to the Supreme Court, it's going to be overruled. The problem is how much problems it's going to cause a president between now and Election Day.
Right.
It's going to soak up a lot of his time and a lot of his money.
Well, and that's the point, right? Republicans and the president basically saying that these charges are being brought at this specific time to deter him from, running if he were to get the nomination, but also if he does decide that he wants to run after he gets the nod to do so, basically just bogging him down financially, bogging his time down so that he can't campaign properly. This is as a New York Times poll comes out and basically shows that if voters were to choose today between Trump and President Biden, it's neck and neck, 43%. So the timing of this is a little suspect.
Well, it is, but I'll tell you, they just keep, the president's like a spider. He just keeps grinning every time something new walks into his web. He came into Alabama Friday night. We had a sellout, 2,900 seats, raised $1.5 million, the most we've ever raised. I was there, met the president at the airport. He gets off his airplane with 15 or 20 attorneys, so he's working constantly around the clock. But I can't think of another time, and I've supported the president in his last two races. In fact, I was here for his very first, almost 8 years ago, his first speech that he gave. The excitement here in Alabama is overwhelming. Yeah. We're tired. We're ready to get somebody back in office that can actually get some control of this country. I can tell you from a congressional standpoint, I mean, the last 3 years for me, it's like serving on Animal House stage set. I mean, the Democrats are they're crazy, and they come up with some of the craziest ideas. I look for them to bring, it's hard to put into words how frustrated we are as just Americans to see what's coming out of this administration.
And let's talk a little bit about that speech on Friday night. Trump slamming Biden's performance as president. Watch this.
If you took the 5 worst presidents in the history of the United States and added them up, they would not have done near the destruction to our country as crooked Joe Biden and the Biden administration have done. He's a crooked guy. Crooked guy.
So he was able to fundraise that night a significant amount, and also the former president receiving endorsements from all 6 of the state's Republican U.S. House members this weekend. So, tell us a little bit about the momentum that's behind him, because many say the more charges you bring, the more cases you bring, the more it fuels him.
Well, it does, and I wish that was not the case. I wish we could run a case just based on merits. One thing I did hear from the president Friday night is he's really toned down his rhetoric, believe it or not. He didn't seem quite as angry. He touched on some issues that I'm so proud to hear him touch on. We've got to get back to the borders. We've got to get back getting our spending under control. And, and less attacking one another. I know the media likes to focus on that portion of it, I guess because it sells the most newspapers. But the reality is we've got some big issues in this country that we've got to get our hands on. We've got to start focusing on versus just attacking one another. And I think the president Friday night did a pretty darn good job of that.
He is doing a good job hitting the points, essentially, that Americans care about the most and making it a little bit less personal than he has in the past. But while I have you, real quick, oil prices surging this morning to a 4-month high. Saudi Arabia announcing that OPEC will extend production cuts until the end of September. We are not drilling. We are not pumping oil here the way we used to, Congressman. We continue to see these other OPEC members artificially move these prices around.
Welcome to Biden economics. They keep telling us how great things are. Prices keep going up. They have no relationship with the Saudi government. And I think the Saudi government's just poking Biden back in the eye. When they start cutting back on production, we should be exploring everything we've got in America. We could be self-sustaining. This would not even be a conversation if we would have carried on the previous administration, President Trump's policies, and we've got to get out from underneath this burden of this president.
Congressman Jerry Carl, great to see you this morning. Thank you so much for being here.